up, YouTube? I hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's having a good week. Here in South Carolina, we are waking up to really cold mornings, and then we're melting by the afternoon. So hopefully this video finds you well, but what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about acoustic guitar rigs. Between the DMs I've been getting lately, and then a lot of the comments I've been getting on my live stream, seems like learning how to build an acoustic rig with the Tonal Pro is a hot topic. And it just so happens I got hired to do a Southern rock gig where part of that includes traveling with a singer, playing acoustic duo shows. So with that, I just got a new acoustic guitar to get ready for the gigs. Today you're going to be hearing a Taylor 314 American-made guitar with a LR Bags acoustic system, the Anthem, and this microphone's going to pick up some of it, but most of the tones you're going to hear, I'm going to try to make sure you're just hearing the Tonal Pro. But before we really dive into the rig and talking about the stuff that I have on my board, I think it's important to talk about what do you actually need for an acoustic gig, and that's really what I'm developing this for. If I'm doing some studio work, I may change this, but honestly, that would be more in the post-processing world anyways, and I'm probably going to end up miking regardless. So, I mean, this pickup system sounds really good. It's just, I would just say with this video, take it with a grain of salt. If you are doing studio work, always try to mic your acoustic guitar and then add effects to it. But if you are a working musician and you need to just have something to gig that's reliable, that's really what this video is going to be about. So with that in mind, I am not going to have anything too crazy on my pedal board. Biggest thing that I'm thinking about adding is getting another looper. The looper in the Tonal Pro is good for what it is, but it's also very simple, and I kind of like being able to turn on and off layers, and you just can't really do that right now. So with the exception of the looper, I'll go ahead and show you what you heard earlier, and I'll just play I got some Tom Petty, just so you can get a little bit more of a vibe for how the chords sound. Alright, so with my preset, I've kind of got three different things going on. I've got, like, if I'm just playing a typical song that's mid to fast tempo, and then I've got a pedal that I'm going to use on slower songs, and then I've got something that turns my acoustic guitar into a bass for if I'm doing any type of, like, most of the time I'll do, like, solo jamming just to eat up time, right, at a gig. So I have something that'll replicate a bass, so I can add a little bit more layers to whatever the loop is. But the first thing I'll show you is kind of a secret weapon in building a rig. So I'll let you hear it, and then we'll jump into the build. Yeah, so that's really pretty. Alright, so let's jump into the system, and I'll explain to you what you're hearing. So my pedal board is really simple. Again, for an acoustic guitar, you don't really want to overcomplicate it. When you're building this stuff, man, keep it as simple as possible. So starting out, I just have a compressor. My compressor isn't doing anything too crazy. Again, I'm mainly just taming outliers. And doing, I don't even think this has any gain boost. Yeah, a half a decibel of gain boost. So nothing too crazy. And again, the reason for that is, like, this guitar sounds really good. I don't want to cover that up. You know, I just want to make that shine. With this, I am using the parametric EQ. I haven't used this before, and some people in the forums were ranting and raving about this, and some people were saying that we need a better parametric EQ. So I figured I would just at least try it out and make my own opinion on it. And it's good. It's good if you know what you need. You can see right here. What I'm doing for an acoustic guitar is a little bit different than what I would do with an electric guitar in a full band mix. It's just going to be me and a vocalist, and I'm the only guitar player. So to give him a little bit more cushion, I think we're going to be tuning either D standard or E flat standard. And I'm in E right now, so this will sound even better once I drop this guitar down. But I boosted the lows a little bit, just to kind of give him a little bit more comfort. You know, if it's just me on an acoustic guitar and him singing, that at least leaves him a little bit high. You know, it won't leave him high and dry. But if you're in a band setting and you're playing acoustic, I would probably try to tame your low end a little bit. But if you're the only guy, or maybe there's two of you, you can get away with like what I did here, just boosting the bass a little bit. Same with the mids and the treble. Again, everything is just slightly boosted, and then 1 decibel gain. I just like how it sounded, honestly. Here it is without it. You can just hear it gives it a little bit more body. On slower songs, what you're hearing, or what I was referring to, is I have the tremolo on. And the settings on this are really, really slow. You know, it's almost like, I mean, you can definitely hear it and you'll hear the difference. But that's kind of the effect. Is like I just wanted to add just a little bit of color, so that way it wasn't just straight acoustic guitar, and it gave it a little bit of movement. So you could probably even do it on like some Dave Matthews Band stuff like. I don't know why this is the first one that came to my mind, but it is. Yeah, and I would say for this, the tremolo, the biggest thing is just like any song that's really slow and exposed, it'll just at least give your guitar like a little bit of life, a little bit of movement. So like, for example, Tennessee Whiskey would probably be a good song. Like once you get past the intro and you're just sitting on that A to B progression. You know, anything that's really slow like that, really good thing to add on. And then lastly, the other thing you'll see pedal-wise is I have the chromatic, and it's just dropping by 1200 cents, and you'll see the mix is all the way up. So what that allows that to do is this turns it into a bass guitar, really. Anything like that, just to give it a little bit of extra oomph and change things up. But really, this is monophonic, so don't expect this to do chords and down pitch them. That's not what it's designed for. Yeah, also, I'm using the Acoustasonic. I decided not to use a cab. I just don't think it sounds good, but I was reading in the manual that some players will run this through a cab. The gain is hardly any, you know, at 4, just enough to give it a little bit of extra pickup, you know, or help my pickups a little bit. What else should I talk about on here? Oh, I saw someone had questions about volume and how I manage volume on the Toolmaster Pro. So, and hopefully all this is pretty self-explanatory, but if you have questions about this, let me know. Oh, I will say before I talk about volume, everything is at unity because I'm EQing coming in, and I set this at unity and then EQ'd first. So if you're going to change any of the EQ or the amp settings, just know the parametric stuff coming in, you need to think about that too. And then lastly is just a small hall verb. I just kind of went in and dialed it into taste and did some EQing just to get it to sound good. This may come on, or this may stay off, but at least for acoustic, I like to have a little bit of reverb. So that way, like the singer just, I don't know, just makes it sound a little bit bigger. In a band setting, you absolutely don't need reverb, but I have it, I'm going to use it. All right, now to talk about volume. So the way that I set mine up is that I like to use my master as like the volume, the end-all be-all volume control. So for me, my preset settings are hot and my amp settings are hot, my amp volume. With that in mind, I keep my master volume at about 50%, and that master volume is coming straight into my interface, and that's how I record all these videos. That's how I'm going to play live, so I'm just replicating that. If I'm playing and I need to increase, then I just go from like 50 to 60 is really about my range. But you'll see on all of my preset settings, my preset volume is just like really, really high for most people. But that's because I just think it's easier to control volume down here than it is to, like, this is 2 buttons to click this. Now I'm 3 buttons in by the time I'm making any changes. Whereas the knob is just, I can do that with my foot going up and down. because I don't always run through my FR cab. So that's just one way where I can control volume and get consistent control. So I hope that helps. I did see one other question that I want to address real quick, and that's someone was asking me about amp volume versus amp level versus preset volume versus master volume. So if you are watching, hopefully this little side quest will help you out. So your amp level is going to be your perceived level of loudness. All right, so this can be confusing if you're coming from the tube world where you're used to like, oh, the volume on an amp is controlling the overall volume in the room. Yes, but especially on Fender tube amps, if you've never owned one, like I own a 65 Deluxe that I absolutely love before I got into the digital space. The louder I crank it, all of a sudden my amp will start getting natural distortion or natural overdrive. So you can replicate that without busting your eardrums by doing this. So for example, say like, what does this sound like right now? If I want to get more of like the twin overdrive, then I would just increase this. But if you notice, my volume hasn't changed. If I wanted to change the volume of the amp, that's where the amp level comes into play. So think of volume as tube saturation and how much tubes you want to be cooking and screaming. That's what volume is. Amp level is how loud am I actually hearing whatever this tone is. So this is good because like for me, I really like the way that like a Deluxe or really any Fender amp sounds at like that 4, the volume at 4, 3.5 to like 4 or 5. I really enjoy those clean sounds before we start getting to the edge of breakup, because I like to use like tube screamers or really the Klon to really push it into the stratosphere. But hopefully that helps. So I control my levels here, and I try to get all of my presets pretty even. So that way if I go from high gain to edge of breakup to clean, I like for there to be a consistent perceived volume. So that's where I do all my preset volumes at like 90+%. My amp levels, it depends on the amp. Some of the amps on the Toolmaster Pro are louder than others, so my range is anywhere. You saw that last one's at 50%. Some of them range up to 70%. I think on a few I even have them at like 80%. But then I just use my ears, and before I play a show with the Toolmaster Pro, I'm switching between presets, and I'm like, okay, how's the loudness? How's the loudness? Because I can control everything else at the master volume. And there are some tricks, that may not be the best way, but that's what works for me. If I do need to be louder, then all I do is I just take my foot and I just crank it, or I'll just go down and pump it up a little bit. Or if I'm playing with the band, then I just go increase the volume of my amp a little, just like you would on any other piece of gear. So just don't overthink it. But I did see that question, and I wanted to make sure that got addressed in the video, and you saw my face talking about it. So, well, y'all, I think that's going to conclude for today's video. It's nothing too crazy, but a lot of people asked, and at the end of the day, just keep things simple. Some things that some players will have that I'm not a real big fan of, at least not in the stuff that I play, which is mostly Southern rock. Oh wow, look at that, cool. Most of the Southern rock stuff, I'm not using chorus, but I do know people use a lot of chorus. Another pedal that people use on their acoustic chains is some type of analog delay. I don't have one on here. It might be fun. That might be something I consider. I'm still getting looped in with this band and this artist style. So it'll depend on what he's looking for, since he hired me as like a hired gun. If we're doing some more, if he wants to do like some more ambient stuff and, getting like that ethereal feel, then I'll probably add some stuff on here for that. So that way I can have pads. And really, I guess it just depends on how creative he wants me to be too, because it's all about playing. When you're hired on, this is something for guys that are watching. If you're trying to get out of the bedroom and go play live, if you're not going out as your own solo artist, you got to really listen to the needs of the band, learn how to play to the song, and then listen to the artistic vision of someone else and try to support that with doing stuff like this. That's the beautiful thing about getting into the digital space, is it allows us to really save a lot of money, but also have a ton of flexibility. So I really hope you guys are enjoying these videos. I hope this answered your question. And if you're interested in studying with me, both either as a player, understanding the fretboard, getting into music theory, or if you're interested in learning how to grow your brand so you can use social media to get jobs as work, even if you're interested in music production, I kind of wear all those hats every day. I mean, I am the business of me. And I love to teach. I love to get into this stuff, and I love helping artists finish songs, and I love helping guitar players get work. So if that's something you're interested in, reach out to me at the Guitar Artistry Program on Instagram or at Damion Andy, wherever you are. All my links will be in the description below. I also have a Patreon. I need to put some more stuff out there, so if you are a current Patreon member, I'm sorry for the delay in post. But I do appreciate your support, and I do know you're there, and I have it on my agenda to get to there. It's just one thing at a time, baby. That's all I can do. Well, hey, I hope that helps, and I'll see you guys in the next one.